Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to another movie review on my channel. Hopefully everybody's doing well. So, Chris Hemsworth is back. Extraction. It's a Netflix original. It is produced by the Russo Brothers. It's actually written by one of the brothers, Joe Russo. And again, stars Chris Hemsworth. So it's like a mini Marvel family reunion, you can say. And I'm just gonna get the kind of a small verdict out first. The movie's alright. Now, I'm not saying the movie's bad and it's one of those movies like, hey, it's alright, whatever, and you move on to the next one. This is one of those where I feel like the movie could have been so much more because the elements are all there. Now, the biggest positive about this movie, and if you've seen any kind of like marketing about this, is the action. It is some fantabulous directed action. There's this one sequence, I believe it's like around 13 minutes long. There's like a hand-to-hand combat involved, gunplay involved, knife to knife, then there's a chase sequence involved. All now, obviously, yeah, there are times you can definitely tell that it's been stitched together to make it feel like it's all one shot, but it's not so in your face that you can really tell. So it does feel like a whole sequence. It's very well directed. All and not just that, the hand-to-hand combat. There's a sequence where literally Chris Hemsworth's character is throwing people everywhere, punching the shit out of them, kicking the shit out of them. Yeah, he was not having it. Mm-mm-mm. So that whole sequence, the final sequence, although I have a bit of a problem with it, it does go on for too long. It's very well directed. It takes place on a bridge under literally like cars, over the cars, under the cars. There's helicopters involved, army involved, local police involved, our characters involved, and it's brilliantly directed. There's, the usual, the ones we hate are the ones like the quick cuts and like 20 cuts for one scene. Taken 2, Taken 3. No, none of that. The action is clear, you can see it, and you do feel it. Chris Hemsworth is good. His character, the way he plays his character, where he's kind of coming from, you kind of feel it. He's good, and now literally we're going to go into the negative. The story. Now, the good and the bad, I can say, is that the story, I'm not going to say it's good. It is wafer thin. It's a thin story, but the problem is that what's there, it should not have been thin. For me, without spoiling anything, this movie does feel like that somewhere in there, this was about fatherhood. Children and, father figures. So there's a story to Chris Hemsworth. There's a story to, if y'all not know, Randeep Hooda. He's a Bollywood actor. His character, he's after Chris Hemsworth. There's a story to him. There's the son that Chris Hemsworth character is involved in rescuing. His father is a drug lord, and then there's a rival drug lord who's trying to basically kidnap or get the boy back. He kidnapped him, but then he got saved, and he's trying to get him back. There's a story involving there where there's this young kid who is very new to his gang, so he kind of looks up to him in a father figure kind of a role. So there's that story. At least from my perspective, that's what I saw. That's what they were going for. Now that's a good story, and I'm not gonna say this movie is exactly like, or could have been greater, or could have been equally as great as something came out years ago. Leonardo DiCaprio's Blood Diamond. I do feel like this could have been something along those lines. Now, the movie's around 2 hours long, just under 2 hours. So they either could have just went with a different story that involved only action. So then you really like, it's a fun action movie, but the way the violence is depicted, it very real violence. It is at times it is really really violent. The reason they're doing that is because of the story that exists. So obviously, then they don't want to go with a like, obviously you wouldn't go with a different story. That's a story. It fits. But then this movie, I do feel, instead of like going for something else, they they needed at least 20 to 30 minutes long. Another like few sequences involving Chris Hemsworth, his past, more sequences with like the drug lord, his son, what his life really is, because this is not like we're saving the boy from his father. We're taking him away somewhere safe. We're trying to get this boy, or not really trying, we're trying to get this boy back to that hellhole. So it would have been nice to see all those backstories more in depth. So there's a lot of moments, emotional moments that happen. You don't feel as emotional as what's actually happening. You should, but that does not come through. So knowing that like Joe Russo wrote this, either they cut the movie short and there was something there, which I think that's more of the case. That I do feel like there is more, because they wouldn't, for my somebody who's that experienced, like Avengers, Winter Soldier, right? Like they wrote those movies, and those are great, great movies. The stories are really good. So that experience with this one, you can, at least for me, I felt like, yeah, I think there's a lot of it was cut. And I don't know why. Maybe because it was a digital release. That's why. But then, hey, there was Irishman, and that was like a 3 hour plus movie. A good movie, but so who knows? We can only speculate. So yeah, that's my biggest problem with it, is that, and it hurts more because, as I said, the story is there, and all the elements of a very heart touching story is there, but it just does not come through as it should be. The action though is great, so if you're kind of like the action junkie and just want to have some good time, 2 hours of like popcorn and a good action movie, you're gonna love this. Uh, but somewhere, even those who are action junkies, somewhere I do feel like you'll feel like that the story, they needed to add more. And this could have been like something very, very special. But as it is right now, I'm going to rate it 6 out of 10. Great, great action, like excellent action. But the story, by the end, it just falls flat. So that's that. It is on Netflix. It came out yesterday, Friday. So do watch it. It's definitely a good time if you just care about the action. And even if you end up not liking the movie as much, you'll still enjoy it. It's not a bad movie in any way or form. The performances are good. It's just the story felt flat. So with that, I'm going to thank you all for watching this review. Stay safe, and I will see you all later. Ta-ta.